All right, welcome to episode 15
Bang, bang,
of the
bang.
Mod Pod. We have plenty to celebrate, so let's go ahead and start just cracking these open because
Cheers, sir.
cheers.
Victory Tuesday.
Victory Tuesday. A much welcome Victory Tuesday because it has been a hell of a season for both our teams. Jose, of course, is a Bears fan. I myself, as if you can't tell, Dallas Cowboys.
It's
Um,
it's an emotional roller coaster. It was started up high, went really low. I thought
yeah.
The roller coaster was about to break, but there's life.
At one point, like not even 4 weeks ago, there was only a 2.3% chance of the Cowboys even trying to make it into the playoffs. They still have to rely on getting a dub as well as Washington losing their matchup, which is one big divisional roundup. Washington faces the Eagles, Cowboys face the Giants, and whoever is winner of that game, as long as Washington lose, pretty much moves on to the playoffs. And then for the Bears, what are your guys' scenario right now?
Win and we're in,
Okay.
or lose and Arizona loses.
So I mean, that's way better odds than the Cowboys at least. But I mean, I think you would much rather have the win over the Packers though to get you into the
Yeah,
playoffs. I mean,
I'm
bar
telling you,
none for sure.
this is my Super Bowl if I don't have one every year. So it's important. If anything, I need this game for my soul.
And these games are coming at a good time where both our teams are coming off win streaks, and they struck fire at the right exact time. Now it's down to crunch time, the final game of the season. Again, for the Bears, winner you're in, or rely on the Cardinals to lose. For the Cowboys, they must win as well as get a loss for the Washington football team. So again, crunch time. This is where dreams are made right here. It has been one hell of a season. Cowboys themselves have gone through four quarterbacks at one point with the early loss of Dak Prescott. The Bears had tried to find some type of quarterback situation, and it came down to, I would say, recently in these past weeks, better play calling for the play style Mitch Trubisky plays as.
I I definitely have to swallow some of the words and feelings that I had for Mitch Trubisky
Mm-hmm.
at the very start of the season, and at this point, he's looking pretty damn good. He's putting up numbers, and I honestly feel that he might be playing himself into an extension here.
I mean, he is a free agent after this year. He's doing everything right as far as getting you guys into a position to be in the playoffs. And I mean, if he can carry this team there, um, take them all the way to the big game. Why the hell not? I mean, that's just working on that's just contract money for him.
Right. Especially you beat Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna get that
Yeah,
check.
yeah. There's a fat check coming your way when you beat Aaron Rodgers in the primetime twilight hours
Yeah.
coming towards playoffs.
And anytime Mitch Trubisky comes to San Antonio, Texas, 6 pack on me.
Six pack on him. So you did mention earlier you wanted me to get the stuff for a shot. Do you want to go ahead and take the celebratory shot right now?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dope. So I got me some gentleman yak. I believe that was courtesy of you, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Let me pull this up real quick. Sorry, I wasn't prepared ahead of time, but I got it now.
Oh, it's okay. I had to hide it from my wife because she was upset. He's like, you
But
better not get loaded on this week's episode. I'm like, I'm not.
but there's every reason to be. But cheers, my guy.
Cheers.
Oh, that's smooth.
All right. Starting off with the Cowboys.
Yeah, let's start off with the Cowboys. Let's recap that game. This episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to recap the entire week like we normally do. We're just going to recap the two beautiful games that both of our teams have had and what we're going to be looking forward to. And I mean, that's what we got to do. We got to talk them up right now because it's time to get hype. Again, we're into crunch time, and this is prime time football time, I guess you could say. I mean,
Yeah.
this is where dreams are made. And again, the roller coaster ride that both of these teams have had to get to this point has been crazy.
Dreams are made or crushed.
True.
So we're both in a very special predicament this week where we didn't think that we were going to have a chance into the playoffs
Right.
with the way the season was going, and here we are at the cusp of a playoff berth.
And here we are. And speaking of starting to talk about the teams, what got us here and why we're here, at least for the Cowboys, was the ass whooping that they gave the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought Hurst was looking nice at the very beginning of the game,
Yeah.
and then they lost the mojo. Anton Dalton was a stud.
Yeah.
Like, he's also, I feel like, playing himself into maybe a contract outside of Dallas after the season.
Hey, you know who needs a quarterback after the season? Washington. What if he stays a divisional rival, goes over to Washington? I mean, because if I'm hoping they re-sign Dak, I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't think his injury is anything to be cautionary towards. It'd be more different if it was maybe towards his arm. Maybe he might be less mobile, but it doesn't seem like that as far as the way that they're projecting the way he's gonna come back. So I'm not too worried about not having Dak there. I'm just seeing. I know the cap space is going to be small for the Cowboys next year. Just seeing how they're going to configure that for him. But yeah, Andy Dalton played good football. I mean, this is like primetime Bengals Andy Dalton, but he has that where he can't win playoff games. That's the only thing that kind of worries me.
Why are you putting that jinx on you already?
I'm not putting the. I'm just gotta say this is what happens, but I'm getting to
Don't
it.
put that in the air.
I'm getting to it, but he's never had this type of running back core and this wide receiver core to throw to. And for once, a lot of questions were, when are we going to see these weapons being used? And this was a game where guys other than Amari Cooper started showing out. You had a very damn good game by Michael Gallup. Hello, welcome back to the fucking Cowboys, Michael Gallup, from being out various games.
Where was that all season?
Yeah.
My fantasy football team would have needed that. Oh, and just sidebar, I didn't make it in any fucking league.
Yeah, I got demolished in all my leagues too, so I'm not a happy camper. Yeah.
Thanks, Michael Gallup.
But hey, what a fucking perfect time to show up. 6 receptions, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns, making mincemeat of the Eagles secondary.
Yeah. Good plays, man. Not only Michael Gallup, but your rookie.
CeeDee Lamb, yep.
Man, that kid's special.
Yeah, he's. I'm looking forward to the next couple of years with this kid. He's got a high floor. High ceiling.
These receivers like Lamb, like Jefferson, and I'm just gonna give my guy a shout out, Mooney. Like they all have like that small, skinny build.
Yeah.
Like I would like them to get a little bit of meat on them. But man, all 3 of these guys super fast, and like you said, this year's wide receiver core was insane.
Yeah, the wide receiver draft class probably been one of the top in recent years, many years actually. This might actually be just the top wide receiver class in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, I would like to see how they progress, especially how good they did this year. I would hate to see like a sophomore slump. But I guess it all depends on, who's at the helm, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's really what happens. And a lot of these guys, they're across from some other talent. I mean, it's in rare cases like Jerry Jeudy where you're the number 1 receiver on your team. But a lot of these guys, they have other talent across from them that's making them better. You could make the case, though, that saying that Justin Jefferson did better than what Diggs did with Kirk Cousins. So, I mean, with having Adam Thielen, being a part of that too, but still, Diggs is still doing crazier stuff with Josh Allen.
Yeah, but he got the better end of the stick.
Yeah. But all right, so going back to the Cowboys, though, the defense has been playing really good football so far. Worried me at first once they threw that 81-yard bomb to fucking Deshaun Jackson. I was just like, oh man, here we go. The Cowboys killer's back. I hate Deshaun Jackson. It always happens. He's still somehow, even aged as he is compared to the rest of everybody else on the field, is one of still the fastest guys on the field. And after seeing that, I was just kind of like, it was like a gut shot. You're just like, oh, fuck. Not ready for this. But
hey, let's do a shining light. Zeke with 100 yards?
he not only 100 yards, but he was breaking fucking tackles. I think there was like 11 to 16 broken tackles that he forced. And again, he's been very inconsistent this year. Hasn't been the same running back,
Right.
but he found his mojo.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm hoping he stays that way.
they were killing him before like this week's game because
Yeah,
of Alvin Kamara's like 6 touchdown
six
game.
touchdowns.
Like
Yeah,
he only has like 5 touchdowns for the year, and you know,
and maybe he just needed that little fire under his ass just to kind of get him going. But if I'm Cowboys coaching staff, I still would find a way to utilize Tony Pollard though, because you have a really good 1-2 punch with that combination. So no matter how good Zeke is looking and how he's doing, I would still find a way. You have to work Pollard in there.
and I agree. They could maybe, I don't know if it could be as good as a tandem as the Hunt Chubb,
Right.
but Tony Pollard's special, and
Yeah.
I don't know. He's gonna have a. You said you had him for one more year, right?
I think he's signed for 2 more years actually.
Oh well, there you go.
So I mean, he's going to be around there. He's going to be there for cheap, which is good. So
Yeah.
we have still somebody to rely on. And worst case scenario, if Zeke disappears over the next 2 years, the way that the cap space works out, you cut him there, trade him there, you get less of a hit at that point in time in his contract. But yeah, it's neither here nor there right now. But Andy Dalton, 22 of 30, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's playing some damn good football right now.
He is. Smart football.
Yeah.
He looked like he was having fun out there. I don't see him
Mm-hmm.
act like that too often. Coming from Cincinnati, he had his games, but
Yeah. Especially with how banged up the O line is, they changed a little bit of the play calling to get some of these shorter and faster passes out for him. But then, I mean, of course, they just took advantage of the matchups like between Gallup and the defenders, where they were just calling some post routes that they were just getting burnt on.
right.
So that came into play. And again, going back to the Cowboys defense, though, I think star of this game for sure was Randy Gregory. He had 3 forced fumbles, 2 sacks. This guy, he's catching fire when you need to catch fire right now.
Yeah. No, and they've really stepped up the last couple games.
Yeah.
Um, Saying that, Jalen Hurst, I was expecting more out of him this game, and kind of saw maybe it's the lack of experience with his 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
But this is the growing pains, right? When you haven't started all season, you're in a high-profile game like this where it has playoff implications, and he didn't deliver this week.
Yeah, I mean, he played like a rookie, and that was bound to happen. Pressure gets on him again, like you said, high stakes situations. Fortunately, it was bound to happen, and it happened at a good time for the Cowboys, taking advantage of his interceptions. There was, I'll give the Eagles some slack on that call with the fumble. I felt like the guy's knee was down, but I don't know, was the whole process like, yeah, it was down, but like the ball does come a little bit loose, but it's not like it was like with the Des Bryant catch where he didn't maintain possession. But again, he's running and he's not catching the ball. So I felt like, yeah, the Cowboys did catch some luck on there, but still, regardless, 2 interceptions later, that's still outcome of the game. Still could have been changed regardless of how that was decided. There was still plenty of time left on the clock. But I'll at least admit that. Fair enough. I mean, there was this past weekend. There was some shitty officiating.
Oh
this
yeah,
entire
did
weekend.
you see the Green Bay game?
Yeah, where Aaron Jones pretty much had stepped out of bounds.
Right, and you see the ref like right in front of his face. Yeah.
But to be honest, I mean, that's another thing. Like even with that, the Titans were getting dominated throughout that entire game. Snowing in Lambeau, that's home field advantage.
Yeah, I really thought that Henry was going to put up more of a fight there.
Nah, brother, his body's not built for that type of weather. Those Tennessee guys, man, they forget about what that cold weather's like, I guess, because it was a totally different Tennessee team. But yeah, I'm excited for this next game. They have the Giants. I don't know if coaching staff is all going to be there. I know because of the close contact with Jason Garrett. That'd be a crazy, potential revenge game for Garrett in general.
For sure. Just to knock him out of the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, you still have the injuries to Danny Dimes.
I had I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what if just because the Eagles have that rivalry with the Cowboys,
If they purposely lose,
they purposely just shit the bed?
I hope not. Like I hope that doesn't happen. That's what I hate. That I have to rely on the Eagles to beat Washington. Like we were saying before the podcast, I would feel more comfortable if Dwayne Haskins was still at quarterback because he has been playing like shit.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he's no longer got a job in the NFL. He's jobless.
Yeah.
Jamarcus Russell 2.0 right now.
And I mean, he's getting a lot of shit, and I think that it's deserved.
Yeah.
We've already seen, the lack of progress, and it's not like this is the first chance that he's received. And we see the stuff that's happening off the field, going to strip clubs.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but at least have a mask on, be sanitary.
Yeah, you at least gotta, especially knowing that your head coach is technically one of the high risk people out there. I mean, cancer, just beat cancer recently, and you're already in again crunch time for the playoffs. And it's one thing to be at a strip club, but the rules, what everything's going on. You know where the media is at right now. You guys are at the height of the NFC East as far as trying to fight for a playoff deal. Like, come on, just abide by the fucking rules, dude. Like, for 2 weeks.
Your job.
Yeah.
You're paid to do a child's game.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that I think, the players that take this as a business are the ones that get, there's more longevity for them.
Yeah.
And him just having complete disregard to his coaching staff, the rules for the NFL. Like, I thought they probably would have waited till like the end of the season to like maybe do this in the off season. But the fact that they did this like midweek was, I think, they made an example out of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you go from promoting him to a captain at the beginning of the season, and then you go in, put him third string. He gets the starting job back because of injuries, and then now he's gone. So speaking of roller coaster rides, I mean that's a fucking roller coaster ride in itself. And he's at the earliest stages of his career, and he's already got this target on his back that he's not actually a team player. He's bad for the fucking football club. So that's just gonna make it harder for him to get a job, in my opinion.
I mean, not just bad for the football club; he's just not a good player in the NFL.
He hasn't done anything crazy, and again, that could be easily as simply as he's just checked out for whatever reason this season and just didn't take it seriously.
Yeah. And now they have a XFL player.
Yeah.
That might be starting over Alex Smith, which
depending on how it looks.
What's wrong with him? It's his leg, right?
Yeah, he injured the same leg that he had the fucking 7 surgeries on. To me, if I'm Alex Smith, I love the heart. I love that you came back. I think it's time to call it a career, though.
After this rule.
I mean, yeah, just after this season at least.
Yeah.
I mean, again, going back to like what you were saying about the perfect fairy tale story where he somehow leads these guys to the playoffs. I mean, just seeing how easily he was injured and the way that he moves, he's not mobile anymore. He can't be mobile.
Yeah.
It's not the same quarterback. It's just like he's like a fraction of what he used to be. And
yeah, I agree. And at this point, it's like, okay, think about the future. Like, what do you want to do?
Like, do you want to have your leg, or or do you prefer to have both legs?
Put him in as a coach, man.
Like, oh yeah, for sure. He'd be a fucking quarterback coach for sure. Potential head coach one day, maybe. Who knows? But it definitely would bring something to a quarterback stable.
I don't know who that third stringer is, but
Henneke.
Chase Young was saying like he was impressed by him already, just because when they benched Haskins and he was going to start, he said, "Don't worry, this is what I do." And he was like, "All right, this kid has some fucking."
Did you see that fucking like bomb he threw to McKissick? It was like a 40, 50-yard bomb. He might have been even more than that. I'm not sure.
That's an example of a person that has an opportunity handed to him and he make the best of it. Like, fuck it. If I have that opportunity, I don't care. I'm gonna go Brett Favre and throw like 3 interceptions. But I'm gonna try.
True. I mean, that talks just more about the character of I don't know if it's pronounced Heineke or Heineke, but I know that's his name. It's something along those lines. But yeah, that talks more about the character of him. And I mean, I think if they would have had that guy in from the start, they probably could have won that game against the Panthers.
Or the last game.
Yeah.
So
that's what worries me now that against the Eagles. It's like I hope the Eagles come up. I hope they play good football. I hope Deshaun Jackson gets 500 yards. That don't mean shit for the Eagles besides a good, healthy dub for their fan base to at least end the season with.
I don't think that they'll just shit the bed this game. I think they'll actually try to win just because they're trying to get some reps for Hurst.
He's gonna ice his own kicker. No, I agree. I think that's what will happen is. I mean, Hurts is going to get his reps in, and I mean that's kind of like the next storyline for next year is what to do with Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I mean that's something I'm going to look forward to is they try and make a trade for him. They eat this new contract that they made. I mean, it'd make more sense if they trade him after 2021. It's less of a hit cap wise, I believe. But yeah, I think that's kind of going to be one of the bigger storylines. And then even for Washington after this season. What to do at quarterback? Do you go and try and grab a veteran quarterback to take advantage of this really good young defense that you have? Maybe a la Matt Stafford.
I mean, he also gets hurt all the time too, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying you get some free agents for him with the O line. He's got a better receiving core to throw to. You get somebody else across from Scary Terry.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you got a better coaching staff for sure because Lions don't even have a coaching staff.
Right.
But I don't even know who else quarterback wise would be up.
Matty Ice.
I think, but he's still under contract though.
Oh.
So he won't be a free agent. And it just, I know next year too would be the less that they have to eat from Alex Smith's contract because I think this year they're eating like $20 million if they were to cut him this year. I think next year it frees up a little bit more in their cap space.
Yikes.
So who knows? It's going to be an interesting offseason, though, for this year,
right.
For sure. There's going to be so much shit going on. It'll be one of the most entertaining off seasons for football.
As far as, like, the Giants are concerned, they have not looked the same at all from the way they were playing, a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
I think y'all have a shot.
Yeah.
For sure, I know that y'all can beat them. Now it's just how the Eagles play, right?
Yeah. It's how the Eagles play, and I think the Cowboys got a good shot against beating the Giants. But let's move on for that. Let's go talk some, since we're on this topic of ass whoopings, let's go to the Chicago Bears, 41 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 17.
Please hold.
I have no idea what he's grabbing right now. It's scary. Okay, the song. Greaterhead, nice.
It is fucking Packers week. This is my Super Bowl. Look, sorry, Trubisky. I'm sorry that I put you in the fucking closet, deep down, forgotten. I had my BDN t-shirt. I'm sorry.
Deep down behind the Cedric Benson jersey.
All I want is a fucking win this week. Just beat the fucking Packers. That's all I want. That's all I want. I have the Chief Raider hat. I am fucking ready to go this week.
This fucking guy. I love it. You are ready to go. Dope.
And I'm going to wear this through the whole fucking segment. Let's fucking go.
Let's do it. Fuck it.
Let's do it.
Let me hear it. Talk to me about the Bears. Let me hear it.
Look what happens when you play towards your quarterback's strengths.
Mm-hmm.
These bootleg options, letting Trubisky be mobile. He ran it in for a fucking touchdown this week. And then look what happens when you actually utilize your running back. Montgomery is looking amazing.
He's
It's
been
night
on a heater the last 3 weeks.
it's night and day from the way he started the
Mm.
season to now where he's getting multiple touchdowns a game. It's insane.
Speaking of multiple touchdowns, Jimmy Graham. Perfect revenge game this coming week for him.
There's so much riding this week. And, you know, I have friends that are Green Bay Packers fans.
Mm.
Couldn't even imagine. Couldn't even imagine wearing that green and yellow on me. It burns me just even thinking about it. Of course, I'm going to have them over, and I don't know. They might see me cry because this game means so much to me. It means so much, and I really thought they were like we might fuck this game up because
Yeah.
there was a time where this is where Mr. Trubisky is doing good, and then he wants to throw it into triple coverage in the end zone, and there you go.
Yeah.
There's a pick, which you cannot do versus Green Bay. We have to fucking score. I mean, this is the first time since like the 60s that we've had like 4 games over 30 points.
And I mean, to back up how good the offense has been looking, yes, it was against the Jags, but still, they're doing what you're supposed to do against a weaker team. They are racking up the points, which with a lot of these other teams, you may not see that.
The defense showed up. Roquan Smith, 2 interceptions.
Who got snubbed from the Pro Bowl.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
The level of disrespect right there. But it's all right. He's going to be all pro. All pro. And the one thing that I'm really I wasn't too concerned, but I am a little bit trying to hide it, is Khalil Mack has been almost non-existent in the last couple games.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's because there's a lot of protection and a lot of putting a lot of bodies to him.
He's getting double teamed in a lot of his matchups.
And held,
But when that happens, is if the other guys, the other defense tackles, the other defensive ends, are at least getting the pressure on the quarterback, then he's still doing his job. He may not be there in the stat column, but as long as everybody else is benefiting off of the double teams, then he's still doing his job at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, Allen Robinson.
He's the heart and soul of the Bears right now, to be honest.
Honestly, I can't disagree with you. There's other receivers that have talent. Mooney has talent. Anthony Miller has kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
But Allen Robinson, man, the Bears need to fucking stop being cheap, pay that man his fucking money.
I mean, because all he's been doing is he's been playing lights out this entire season for the Bears. He's just making a stronger case for if they don't pay him money, he's at least going to get money somewhere else. I hope the Bears do pay him money because he has earned every fucking cent of it for this year.
But like you said, he's there. He's the heart and soul. And you see him on the sidelines. And I didn't see him do this with Nick Foles.
Yeah.
But every time Trubisky does something well or does something bad, he's there coaching him up, hyping him up. Jimmy Graham is doing the same thing. And this team is really turning it on at the right time.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm questioning, they should have just put Trubisky in after our 3rd straight loss. Like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't even have been in this situation probably because we lost some bullshit games.
No, yeah. I got to agree with you on that one. Trubisky, I mean, he's looking good, though, over these last couple games. He's getting a lot better. The play calling for him is a lot better as well. It's more to his strengths as a quarterback. But, again, what's good about your team is that you guys have a very good fucking defense. And what fucking wins championships for most teams?
Fucking defense.
Exactly. And, yeah, Khalil Mack may not be there in the stat column, but I'm sure he's giving a lot of these other guys a shot. And, Khalil Mack, he may start turning it up for him. He may, start hitting that stat column when it comes to crunch time right now.
How can I say this? Because I get it. it all goes away. He sacks Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
We come out with a win. Everything is forgiven. At this point, I
Yeah.
think with the performances from the last couple weeks, Nagy's job is
Mm-hmm.
solid now. Everyone's jobs are in place. We're gonna see Mr. Trubisky get an extension. Nick Foles is
Yeah.
probably gonna get traded somewhere. That's the way I see things. The way everything's shaping out. Hopefully, we had to keep Allen Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
but the Bears have known to be little tightwads.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, in this game if the star is going to be David Montgomery because the Packers defense does struggle to stop the run. And if there's and for a running back who has caught fire over the past 3 weeks, and for it to continue and have questionably a noticeably a favorable matchup, I don't see why David Montgomery easily doesn't get 100 plus yards, multiple touchdowns this game.
I I would like to put that into the air,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we saw Derrick Henry just get shut out.
Yeah,
Also, it was bad weather.
yeah.
I get that.
He probably for once felt those hits because it was so cold.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you saw, I mean, I could see it in his face, like, fuck, it is cold outside. Yeah. Goddamn, like, taking hits, like, you see his eyes just wide, like, fuck, why am I playing this game right now?
But to be fair, Chicago's a little bit further up north in Tennessee, get a little bit more colder weather.
Yeah, I mean,
Montgomery might be Montgomery's thing. Who knows?
I really hope that it's a competitive game.
Yeah.
If it turns out like Tennessee's game, I'm gonna be kicking everyone out early.
Right at halftime. All right, get out. 15 minutes gives you enough time to get home. Fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of my house right now. But I'm excited. Jacksonville sucks. Mike Glennon had a chance, and he dropped a couple dimes on us. I was a little worried.
Yeah.
I was a little worried, and then our defense woke up. Our offense put up 41 points. Allen Robinson went over for 100 yards. Like, Dave Montgomery passed the 1,000 mark. Like, we're clicking right now, and Mr. Trubisky, I trust for this week.
Big Mitch energy.
There's nothing. I'm putting it out there. We have to come out with a win. Arizona, this is what I'm hearing. We already know that Goff is out.
Yeah. Murray may be out as well.
Yeah, his thumb's hurt, so we know he's out. Mm-hmm. Now there's word that Murray has a leg injury and not sure if he's going to play, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. So the easy route of Arizona just losing is out the door because there's some random guy that's starting at quarterback for the Rams. Yeah. And the Rams are who we thought that they were from the very beginning of the season.
To be fair, though, Jared Goff can also be considered a random guy that starts for the Rams.
When you're right, you're right.
Hey. Yeah, but again, crunch time. Big games this weekend for both the Bears and the Cowboys. I wish the Bears the best of luck. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. How cool was it? Because I know you retweeted it. George Kittle talking about the Bears.
I thought that was probably the highlight of the weekend.
Right?
Sounds
pretty cool.
That he's such a Bears fan that gives zero fucks about his team and what they think, and saying, "Hey, you know what? As a Bears fan, I'm glad that I was able to give to my favorite team."
And I always kind of wondered how that worked. Like, I know a lot of these guys have to have a favorite NFL team, regardless of where they get drafted. Like, do they still have that soft spot? And apparently, you know, for George Kittle, that's true. Still has that soft spot for the Chicago Bears. But I wonder, like, a lot of those guys that get drafted and, you know, still see their teams, do they still secretly root for them? Or maybe they're those guys that actually get super lucky and happen to get drafted by their fucking childhood team.
Hey, Beers Pizza is going to be free for that man.
And throughout all of Chicago, wherever he goes from now on.
Yeah. And if because of that loss and we beat Green Bay, he's gonna forever be my tight end one. It was
Tight end one every draft from now on. That's Jose's drafting number one
yeah,
overall. That's
number
his
one.
pick, which
That,
isn't bad by any means, to be honest. But yeah, I don't blame you. But no, I thought that was really cool just to see that from another player from a different team and still rooting for somebody else since that was his childhood team.
yeah, it's amazing. It's a story that filled my heart up with joy, and it was just a great weekend.
Good vibes, good vibes.
Good vibes on both of our sides. Both of our teams are putting up points right now. Like this is the way it should be every fucking season.
Yeah.
I feel. I
agree. I agree, especially with how chaotic this year has been. I mean, what a way to go into this last week of football, knowing that the Bears and the Cowboys were almost pretty much eliminated for any type of playoff contentions in the middle of the season, to now having both a shot to make it to the playoffs. 2020, man.
It's beautiful.
All right, so let's move on. So we're gonna do this again. We're doing this episode a little bit different. We're actually gonna kind of wrap it up with our MVP prospects and who we think is the best this year for positional stat or player positions. So let's talk MVP. Who's got MVP for you this year?
Anyone but fucking Aaron Rodgers. That's for goddamn sure.
I mean, I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers just because of what he's done. I mean, come on, 44 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4,059 yards.
Put up Josh Allen's numbers.
So you put up Josh Allen. I mean, he's thrown more, 4,320 yards, 34 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Touchdowns and percentage and interceptions are a little off.
I feel like he's done more in a short span of time. Brought his team from the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he deserves.
I mean, yeah.
Other than Devontae Adams,
I would say the Buffalo Bills. There are that Cinderella team that the team that I, besides the Cowboys, am rooting for in the back because I want to see success for those guys, especially with how much Josh Allen has turned his career around from having his last 2 seasons, one of the worst seasons coming out as a quarterback, and then such a drastic fucking change from this year versus the 2 previous years. Yeah. But I mean, if we're looking at stat wise and we're looking at what the quarterback's done, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's expected to do this, and he's doing what an elite quarterback does.
Thank you. But this is what my point is he is like a complete different quarterback in the last 2 years.
Exactly.
Like some of the passes that he's making is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
No, like the touchdown he threw last night to Stephon Diggs, going the opposite way.
Yeah, the kid's arm is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But since it's gonna be by stats, I mean, it would be to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I would even make the case though, like we've said previously, that Devontae Adams could possibly get MVP. He's got what 18. Where's he at in touchdowns? Only 17 touchdowns. I think that leads. I don't even know who's close to him. Tyreek Hill's close to him with 15, but Devontae Adams has missed multiple games.
Yeah. Devontae Adams doesn't miss those games, and
he's easily got 20 plus touchdowns.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if it's not really a thing where wide receivers get the MVP, it's mostly you mostly see quarterbacks, running backs, some defensive players sometimes, but it's very rare that you see a wide receiver get the MVP.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's for as much as having a drastic change in turning not only his career around, but a franchise around. Yeah, I would say that would be arguable to put Josh Allen in the MVP race.
So your pick, Shitty Rodgers, Josh Allen.
Fair enough. So I mean, quarterback play. So this is something so that's just for MVP. So we can bring it down now to quarterbacks. I mean, most improved quarterback by far, Josh Allen. If there was just a sole quarterback award, we'll just say for this podcast there is, I would give it to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you got guys like Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, they've already proved where they're at. They've won Super Bowls. They have already showed you that they can be elite. They're still staying on the course of being elite quarterbacks. But again, it comes back to Josh Allen and how drastic he has turned, again, not only his career around, but for the franchise sake, how much hope that he's given to this franchise as well. He
Yeah,
is fucking fun to watch. He's just got that energy about him where it's a guy that you want to root for.
yeah, and the Bills are a problem now.
Yeah.
They the Bills, you used to laugh at them, and now it's fuck. We have to play the Bills, and we have to deal with their goddamn fans. Even though
But,
no one had to deal with that this year,
yeah,
but it's a menace.
truth. So let's go to, so we can unanimously agree for the podcast award that our quarterback would be Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, if it was based off a podcast, Jay Cutler's my number one.
Get out of here.
Always love that man.
All right, so let's go to running backs. If you had to give running back a sole award based on their performance for this year, who would it be? Why? If you'd like, I can start with mine.
Go ahead.
I'm simply going to go with James fucking Robinson.
Okay.
A guy that has to deal with all the turmoil of having pretty much half your team gutted out before you even get there. You get bumped up as an undrafted rookie running back, and you're third in the league in overall rush yards with 7 touchdowns. To me, James Robinson. There's guys with 15 touchdowns, as in Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook did amazing this year as well. But the adversity James Robinson had in pretty much carrying the Jaguars to at least make them or make games entertaining.
Right.
James Robinson's that guy for me.
I can't disagree with you. Like the fact, and you hit it right in the head, is the fact that his team sucks,
Yeah.
and he's the only person that I felt, him and DJ Chark, but were the heart and soul of the team. You throw in a quarterback, it's game over. Like, they can be a problem.
Yeah.
They're not far away, but they're still, I want to say they're one of the youngest teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're definitely one of the youngest teams. That whole roster's young. I mean, you can even make the argument, like I said, there's guys out there like Kamara, 16 touchdowns, Dalvin Cook.
I would say
anything like that.
Dalvin Cook, just because it's been all season long.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara, I mean,
he got the stats inflated from the 6 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dalvin Cook has been consistent. So has Derrick Henry though. But I think Dalvin Cook, even though Henry's about 200 yards, I think more than him. I just think he's had some more favorable matchups to where the numbers were kind of astronomically high, to where Dalvin Cook's just constant.
The beginning of the season, he wasn't Derrick Henry. Like, it usually starts like later on in the season. Like, he'll win you fantasy championships. I feel like. I mean, not saying that he's bad running back.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, either one of them could easily get that award. I mean, even Aaron Jones. I mean, it's crazy even seeing David Montgomery up there over the 1,000-yard threshold this year as well.
Especially with like the way we started the season, where we have like 60 rush yards.
Yeah, like, where he was barely utilized at all at one point.
Yeah. Oh, look what happens when you have.
Look what happens when you give the guy the rock.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
So are we both agreeing James Robinson here, or did you have somebody else, or did you want Dalvin Cook?
No. I mean, I'll go Dalvin Cook just because of what he's done all season long.
Okay, fair.
That's not saying that Robinson hasn't done the same thing all season.
Yeah.
He had a harder path because of the team he's on, but the person that actually played for the contract that he has, Dalvin Cook, hands down, has been amazing unless he's playing the Bears.
True. So let's go to receivers. I think we would probably be unanimous on this one with Devontae Adams, with how crazy this dude has been at the wide receiver position. I would even say maybe you could throw on Stephon Diggs because of all the projections that he got, that saying that moving to Bills he wouldn't get the same amount of success that he had with the Vikings across from Thielen, which, come to find out, he's got even more potential here with the Bills and the connection with Josh Allen.
This might come off as just Packers hate coming from me, but I feel like the production that Stephon Diggs has done in Buffalo surpasses Devontae Adams' work this season
Right.
in Green Bay. And this is why. Devontae Adams has been with Aaron Rodgers for how many years? Like,
I think it's like, what, 5, 6 years now?
they do segments like, oh, we already know what each other is thinking just by mannerisms, blah, blah, blah. Fucking jerk me off a little bit. Fucking assholes. Like, they know each other.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs just met this guy in the offseason during COVID, and look at what he's fucking doing. He is a monster. And I think that's more impressive to me than someone that's already had that relationship.
True. No, I can see that. The only argument that I'm going to make for Adams is that receiving court wise, who does he have across from him? Really nobody. Lazard and MVS, whatever his name is, I wouldn't consider them to be even number 2 wide receivers on any other team. Stephon Diggs at least has Cole Beasley, who isn't bad. When you look at when you look at Tyreek Hill, he's got fucking Travis Kelce across from him, which is pretty much another wide receiver, not even a tight end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't count what Diggs has done. I mean, he's leading the league in yards and as a receiver. But to me, Devontae Adams missing the games and still having 17 touchdowns with not really a huge supporting cast around him, and everybody knows you're going to throw it to him, and you're still finding the end zone. I got to go with Adams on this one.
All right. We agree to disagree on that.
Fair. I mean, I think runner-up, though, for me would maybe have been DK Metcalf. He had a really good year this year as well.
Yeah, he did. He did. And then my rookie of the year, wide receiver-wise, would be Jefferson.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. So let's just go ahead and go to rookie of the year then. Who would be overall rookie of the year? Justin Jefferson?
I think.
I mean, Herbert.
I like Herbert just because of the situation that he was in.
Yeah.
Like, Jefferson started the whole season knowing his position. Herbert was like throwing in and produced. So
I think stabbed Tyrod.
Yeah, I think just because of the situation, to me, would be Herbert getting that.
Yeah, I mean, Herbert's already playing like the improved Josh Allen. So that's what gets me is like he's already doing. We're seeing the same kind of quarterback already, and this is him fresh out of his rookie year, thrown into the fire. Here you go.
Yeah, and think about the team that he has with Eckler, and the receiving core is not bad.
Yeah.
So he has weapons already, and he's playing this good. Imagine him improve.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's gonna be bad. The Chargers is gonna be bad.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Herbert here. Defensive players. Who is your top defensive guy? I mean,
I'll go first.
Go for it.
And this is just because of I don't know him personally, but his Instagram he's very he's nice, you know?
Yeah.
He likes I don't even know how to fucking say this without sounding all weird. Whatever. Roquan Smith I felt he was drafted a couple years ago, and at this point is playing lights out football. 2 interceptions this week. He is leading our team in tackles. Just the guy is bad, and he's really positive. So that's my guy.
Yeah, I mean that's who I'm kind of torn between. Like I've liked Roquan Smith. You know that. I've said pretty much every positive thing you could say this entire year for him, and that'd probably be my guy too. The only guy that I think I would maybe throw up there is also T.J. Watt. Um, that kid has been playing lights out since he got into the league. I mean, he's leading the league in sacks with 15 fucking sacks. Um, so to me, it's a coin flip between them. If I had to pick one of the other, I would say I would still go with T.J. Watt just because of how consistent and how he's still improving upon the success that he has. And it's different when you're a defensive player versus offense because defense is solely pretty much you. For offense, a wide receiver, you got to rely on a good quarterback. Running back, you got to at least rely on a good offensive line sometimes. So I think I would give it to T.J. Watt.
Cool.
But I mean, that pretty much wraps up what each position right there.
Tight end.
Oh, tight end. True. I mean,
there's only one person.
Yeah, he's a receiver at this point. I mean, fucking Travis Kelce. He's the only tight end that didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
that's a big that's a big name tight end.
And you would think like he would be injury prone because of the usage.
Yeah,
but the guy's a fucking monster. Fucking Travis Kelce, man.
Yeah, so that's easily unanimous there. I mean, because there wasn't even any other tight end that stepped up this year, despite all the injuries. I mean, Noah Fant looked like he was about to start catching fire. Then he got injured. And
I mean, everyone's had their injuries.
Yeah, that's just what sucked about this year is how chaotic and sporadic it's been. Not only with everything going on, but with just injury wise as well. But I think that wraps up. I mean, we got some good fucking games to watch this weekend, my guy.
There's only four important games, right? 4 important games. But you know what? We're gonna come out victorious, man.
Agree.
This is our year, both of us.
Well, I'll cheers to either the success of the Cowboys or the Bears. So, cheers to that, my guy.
Cheers. And next week we're gonna have some victory shots. Hit that shit, both of you.